G'day friends, my name is Franny. Welcome to Considered Body. For this yoga class, all you're going to need is a mat. But of course, if working with props help you to feel that little bit more supported and confident, I encourage you to grab a set of blocks or maybe a blanket to cushion your joints. I created this class during a recent period of uncertainty when myself and my family were displaced by a cyclone. This sequence balances moments of strength with fluidity to create this sense of harmony and ease, uniting mind, body, and breath. So make this your own. If anything doesn't feel right, don't force it. You can pass, you can pause, or you can explore something that feels a little bit closer to home. And with that, let's get started in a child's pose. So situate yourself towards the back half of your mat. Knees come wide. Find the spread that serves you best. Big toes touch. And then start to elongate, draping your spine forward and down, finding this reach of your arms and this bowing of your forehead towards the ground. It might touch, it may not. Wherever it is, can you just find this sense of settling in? Closing down your eyes if you feel called to do so. And directing your awareness to your breath. As you next inhale, can you pay a little bit more attention to the front side of your body, feeling your belly, your chest expand? And then as you breathe out, feeling your belly and your chest contract, rising a little further away from the floor. As you next breathe in, can you send your awareness to the back side of your body, feeling your back ribs and your low back inflating with the inhale? And then that same spaces, your low back, your upper ribs deflating as you exhale. And one more just like that. Send your awareness to your sides this time. Inhaling, feeling the outer edges of your abdomen, the outer edges of your ribs, maybe even your armpits, filling with air. And then feeling them pull back towards your center line as you breathe out. One last mindful breath, feeling your whole body receiving it. And then your whole body releasing it. Beginning to move, as you next inhale, start to direct your gaze forward, lifting your hands up onto all 10 fingertips. You might notice that intensifies the sensation of stretch through your spine, through your sides, knowing we're just here for a moment. And then as you breathe out, start to walk your hands in towards your knees, your thighs, palm print at a time. And then when your spine becomes stacked and upright, inhale, reach your arms outwards, upwards, and wide. And then as you exhale, find a basket weave, interlacing your hands behind your head. Your elbows are wide and in your peripheral vision. As you breathe in, extend your spine, lift your chest. Maybe you tip your head back, feeling the pressure in your palms. And then as you breathe out, pull your chin towards your chest, wrap your arms in, bowing, giving your heart a little hug. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, find extension. See if you can anchor your front rib cage down, getting the broadness beneath your collarbones, armpit to armpit. And then exhale, draw everything in, feeling your shoulder blades spread, noticing how that feels through your entire spine, not just your neck. One more like that. Inhale and exhale. Next breath in, bring your spine to neutral, your elbows stay wide. And then this time as you exhale, keep your left hand where it is, start to lean forward and then set your right hand down beneath your right shoulder, readjusting your knees as you need. We're in this tripod all fours position, if that makes sense. We're going to add a little bit of rotation here. As you next inhale, rotate your chest to the left, drawing your elbow towards the sky or the ceiling, keeping your hips as square as you can. And then as you exhale, pull your left elbow towards the inside of your right elbow, shoulder blades spread. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, rotate open to the left. Exhale, curl in, left elbow to eye of right elbow. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale. This time as you breathe in, extend your left arm to the sky as you rotate to the left. And then as you exhale, find a half bind. Bring the back of your hand towards your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, or maybe you catch the back of your hand at the outer edge of your right hip. Keep rotating, pulling your shoulder blades towards one another, and at the same time keeping your pelvis as square as you can, frontal hips like headlights towards the ground. Take 1 more breath in. And then as you breathe out, start to sit your hips back towards your heels. And then as you inhale, start to lean your right arm up and over towards the back left corner of your mat. So you've still got your half bind while your right arm is reaching up and over. Big stretch through your right side. A little bit of rotation as well. Take 1 more breath in here. And then as you breathe out, start to cartwheel your arms all the way down back to a child's pose, readjusting your knees as you need, bringing them more narrow or a little wider. And when you arrive with your arms extended, your forehead bowing down, maybe you find a little shimmy, a little sway from side to side. Settling in to relative stillness and just taking a moment to appreciate what's right here. What's right here and now, knowing that things will never be the exact way they are in this moment. It might be good, it might be bad, it might be ho-hum, or just so. Whatever it is, stepping into a space of appreciation. The appreciation to simply be here and witness it. Take 1 more breath in, 1 more breath out. And as you next inhale, direct your gaze forward, lift up onto tented fingertips once again. And then as you breathe out, handprint at a time, walk your palms back, bring your spine to upright. And then when you arrive in that position, again, inhale, stretch your arms outwards, upwards and wide. And then your exhale finds that basket weave interlace behind your head. Pull your elbows wide, your shoulder blades towards one another. Just 1 repetition this time. Inhale, extend your spine. A big morning stretch, broadening, opening your heart. And then exhale, give yourself a hug, wrapping your elbows in towards your middle, sending your gaze towards your pubic bone. Inhale, bring your elbows wide, your spine to neutral. Keep your right hand where it is. Start to send your weight forward. Set your left hand down beneath your left shoulder. Square off your chest, your hips. Keep your right elbow where it is. And we're going to add our rotation once again. As you breathe in, rotate your sternum, your breastbone to the right. And then as you exhale, pull your right elbow to the eye of your left elbow, shoulder blades spreading. Keeping your pelvis as steady as you can. Inhale, elbow opens up wide. And then exhale, pull it in like a hug. 1 more time with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. This time as you breathe in, let your hand leave the back of your skull, stretch it towards the ceiling just for a moment. And then exhale, back of hand to the back of hips, or finding your half bind, wrapping the back of your hand around your left hip crease. Drawing your shoulder blades towards the middle of your back, expanding across your chest as best you can. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, start to set your hips back towards your heels, sit down, and then inhale, lift your left arm up and over towards the back right corner of your mat space. So there's a little rotation from our bottom ribs up, and as well there's this lateral flexion through our spine. Big inhale towards your left side rib cage. Feeling it in your front, your back, your sides. 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, start to unwind this little cartwheel of your arms forward and down, finding your child's pose once again for a generous inhale. A generous exhale. Let the heels of your hands be heavy. Grip your fingers down. Start to shift your weight forward. Tuck your toes and then lift your knees, finding a downward facing dog. Take a moment to readjust. Your hands are slightly wider than your shoulders. Your feet are as wide as your hips. Start to bend your knees generously and then pull your hip creases back. Chest pressing towards your thighs. Gaze settling in between your big toe mounds. You might pedal your heels left and right, side to side. Feeling a weightiness through the back line of your legs. Spaciousness through your hamstrings, your glutes. And this wrapping of your shoulder blades around and down your back. Take a breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, maybe stick out your tongue and sigh your exhale out. As you next breathe in, bend your knees generously, send your gaze forward. And then as you exhale, step your left foot forward, finding a runner's lunge. Put a soft bend in your right knee. Draw your left hip crease back in space and draw the tips of your shoulder blades towards the waistband of your pants. Get really light in your fingertips. Push heavy through your forward foot. Breathe in, start to float your arms forward and then up, finding crescent lunge, soft bend in your back knee. And then as you exhale, big pull of your elbows down towards your hips. Again, extending through your spine, getting expansive across your heart. Inhale here, lift your arms up, finding crescent lunge just as a transition. And then as you exhale, straighten your forward leg. Keep a micro bend in the knee as you start to sweep your arms back and tip your torso forward. A pyramid expression, sending energy out through the tips of your fingertips. We're going to move between those two. Inhale as you rebend your front knee, sweep your arms forward and up through crescent lunge. And then exhale, pull your elbows down, drop your back knee, feel into the front of your right hip. Inhale as you lift up through crescent. And then exhale, extend your front leg, tip your heart forward, fly your arms back. Last time, moving with your breath. Feel it out. Inhale, rebend, forward knee, lift your arms up. And then exhale, big pull, drop closer towards the ground. Inhale, rise up, push into your front foot, arms lift, shoulders stay down. And then exhale, hinge and fly. Pausing in your expression of pyramid. Again, draw your left hip crease back. Maybe you sink your right heel towards the ground, or maybe you lift it up a little higher. Take one more inhale, one more exhale. As you next breathe in, start to rebend your forward knee. Shift all of your weight into your left leg, and then step your right foot in chair pose. Feet are parallel. Slightly more narrow or the same width as your hips. Pull your hip creases back. See if you can get your knees to stack in the direction of your ankles. Firm through your low belly, and then find this little scoop of your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Extend your arms just for a moment longer. Notice how they support this counterbalance, and you can shift a little bit more weight into your heels. Find that little bit more depth in your hips. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, pull your hands to your heart center. Take a moment just to sit here. Sit and take it in. This space of appreciation for what's right here and right now. Knowing that it's all transient. Like you might sit at a cafe and people watch. They come and they go, and we let them. That's the beauty of it, this flow of observation. Noticing what comes, noticing what goes, and appreciating that fluidity, that ebb and flow. Take a breath in, start to push into your feet, stand up tall, reach your arms wide, lift them overhead. And then as you exhale, hands come through prayer, sit through chair once again. With your breath, inhale, stand up tall, reach up, look up, grow that little bit more expansive. And then exhale, pull your hands down, find your chair, tailbone heavy, heels heavy, 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 rooting into the floor. One more time, inhale. Exhale, sit. Keep your hips where they are. Take a breath in, find a little bit more length through your spine. And then as you exhale, start to rotate towards your left. Maybe you catch your right elbow outside your left knee or your left thigh. Or maybe you keep your spine that little bit more upright and then focus on the rotation through your core, your obliques. Keep your shoulder blades anchored, your lats engaged, your upper arm bones hugging towards your side. Take one more breath in here, feeling the load in your quads, the work in your glutes. And then as you exhale, step your right leg back, press your left hand on top of your left thigh. You're in a runner's lunge with a thoracic twist. It's not our first twist, but notice how it feels this time. Maybe you shift your weight backwards and forwards on the ball mound of your right foot. Noticing the sensation that's arising through the front of your right hip, through your groin. Draw your left hip crease back, rotate your chest that little bit more to the left through the pressure of your left palm, the gripping of the ground through your right hand. Take one more breath in. And then as you breathe out, start to unwind, set your left hand down, step your left leg back, downward facing dog. Pedaling your heels side to side, left and right. Maybe nodding or shaking your head, opening and closing your jaw. Breathe. One more inhale. One more exhale. As you breathe in, send your gaze towards your hands, bend your knees generously. And then as you exhale, step your right foot forward, runner's lunge. Right knee stacks over your right ankle, right hip crease pulls back. You're high on the ball mound of your left foot, your left toes, and you've got a micro bend in your knees, so not to put any stress on your joints. Put more pressure into your front foot, get a little lighter through your hands, maybe floating your fingertips off the ground, and then using that as an opportunity to connect to the strength of your core, the strength of your back. Anchor your shoulder blades so they're not rounding over your heart. As you inhale, start to circle your arms forward and up through crescent lunge. Put a soft bend in your back knee. And then as you exhale, pull your elbows down towards your hips. That big pull, anchoring your shoulder blades, feeling the sensation of stretch through the front of your left hip. Just like we did on side one, as you inhale, lift a little higher, your arms float up. And then as you exhale, start to hinge, extending your forward leg, sinking your back heel down as your arms fly in this expression like a cape. Proud across your chest. Inhale, start to shift forward, bending your forward knee, arms sweeping up. And then use the breath out to pull down, dropping your left knee below your hip. Pulling your shoulder blades towards one another. Inhale through crescent, and then exhale through your pyramid. Micro bend your forward knee, pull your right hip back, arms fly back. A little bit of a bow. Inhale, find your crescent, shift your front knee forward, lift your arms up. Exhale, find your pull, big squeeze, open and ready to receive. Inhale, lift up, crescent, and then exhale, hinge and sweep. This element of surrender, this element of reverence, this space of appreciation to what's right here. Take one more breath in, And one more breath out. As you inhale, start to rebend your right knee, shift your weight forward, and then put all of your weight in your right leg as you step your left foot in, finding your chair. Knees bend, hips bend, chest lifts as your arms extend. Pull your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Find a little bit more engagement and strength in the space between your pubic bone and your navel, your transverse abdominal wall. Engage your lats. Even though your arms are reaching forward, can you find this little squeeze beneath your armpits? Breathe in here. Put a little bit more weight in your heels, a little bit more reach through the tips of your fingers. And then as you exhale, pull your hands into prayer at your heart. If you feel safe to do so, maybe you close your eyes here. This is a movement practice, yes, but a listening practice as well. When you take away your sight, your other senses seem to amplify. So what do you hear? What do you feel? Can you notice taste, temperature, texture? Taking it in like you were sitting in a busy shopping mall, noticing the coming and going and just enjoying the flow. Let's start to move. As you next inhale, push into your feet, stand up tall, reach your arms outwards, wide up, palms come to touch. And then exhale, pull your hands down, sit once again into your chair. 2 more just like that. Inhale, push down, squeeze your glutes, engage your core, reach up without your rib cage lifting. And then exhale, find your chair once again, hands come down. Last one, big breath in. Big breath out, chair pose. See your hips back. Press your knees in the direction of your pinky toes. Can you find this squeeze of your inner thighs as you lengthen your tailbone down? Like if you were standing on a piece of paper, it would start to tear in half. Breathe in, find a little bit more length through your spine. And then as you breathe out, start to rotate from your bottom ribs up to your right. Now you have the option to catch your left elbow outside your right thigh, or you have the option to find that rotation and rely on the strength of the muscles of your spine and your trunk to hold you there. Use your breath to find a sense of ease, knowing that this isn't going to last. Just appreciate it for what it is for one more inhale. And then as you exhale, keep the lunge in your right leg as you step your left leg back, runner's lunge, left hand down, right hand to the top of your right thigh to rotate your heart towards the inseam of your right leg. Put a soft bend in your left knee. Maybe you shift your weight backwards and forwards on the ball mound of your back foot. Can you hug your right shoulder blade onto your body? Send your gaze towards the ceiling. Breathe. Feeling into it for one more inhale, one more exhale. As you next breathe in, start to unwind, set your right hand down, step your right leg back, and then lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Your final time here, inhale. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, set them wide, big toes come to touch, child's pose, just like where we were when we began. Crawl walking your fingertips that fraction further forward, rocking your head, your hips from side to side, and then settling in, meeting yourself right here. sitting down next to yourself at that cafe. A moment of appreciation, a moment to observe, and a moment of reverence for this flow, this continuous dance of nature, of the world, our internal and external realities. Noticing your front body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Noticing your back body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Noticing your side body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Slowly start to walk your hands underneath your shoulders and then press yourself up. Cross your ankles and then roll onto your sitting bones, finding a seated position. When you arrive there, bringing your hands onto your knees and closing down your eyes if you feel called to do so. Finding a seated cat-cow, inhale, lift your heart, pull your shoulder blades together. Maybe you tip the back of your head towards the back of your neck, getting a stretch through the front of your throat. And then as you exhale, pull your chin towards your chest, articulate your spine, shoulder blades spread, shoulders hug around your heart like a cave. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, find extension. And then exhale, find flexion. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. And then breathe in, come back into a neutral position. And just take a moment to listen in. What does your body need in this moment? What does your energy need in this moment? Maybe you sit in stillness, or maybe you start to find some movement that's organic and authentic to you. Maybe it's a little figure 8, barrel rolls, some twisting, shrugs of the shoulders, circles with the head, the neck, the wrists. What do you need? Listen to your body. Ask from a space of receptivity. And answer from this space of compassion. Moving however you are called for 2 more rounds of breath. You can stay seated for Shavasana. If you do, I invite you to switch the cross of your legs. Or if you feel comfortable to do so, start to make your way down onto your back. You have options to lie with all of your limbs long and spread. Maybe you bend your knees and rest your hands on your body. Or maybe you bring the soles of your feet together to touch and let your knees fan out wide in a reclined butterfly. Arms in a Y or a star shape. Paying close attention to the flow of inhale and exhale. Of awareness from thought to thought, feeling to feeling, sensation to sensation. And if you start to journey too far from your mat, let your breath be your anchor. Come back, noticing your next inhale and your next exhale. Resting in this state of appreciation for what's right here. If you have time to stay and soak up Shavasana, then I encourage you to take as long as you may. If now is the time to start to transition back into your day, invite a little movement, starting with the extremities, your fingers, your toes, your eyebrows, wiggling your nose, open and closing your jaw. And then wherever you are, seated or lying down, start to give yourself a hug, however you feel called. And then from that hug, start to transition into your upright seat if you weren't already there. Stacking the vertebra of your spine in a neutral position, giving your shoulders a shrug, up, down, forward and back. And we'll seal this time with one last collective breath. Inhale, reach outwards, upwards, palms, find each other above your head. And then exhale, pull them down to your heart. Bow in acknowledgement and appreciation of your one incredible body. This vessel that allows us to experience the world and for the world to experience us right back. Yes, everyone has a body, but no one's body is just like yours. Thank you so much for taking this time to move and be with and feel this one incredible body of yours. It was an absolute honor, and I hope to see you again soon.